And there's something about, spending so much on a bag and then, getting that scratch on it and you think, oh, now it's lost value. I don't want to chuck this in the dirt. And how am I supposed to guarantee that I'm going to be into designer bags in 10 years? Like in the past, I wouldn't have this issue of worrying where I'm going to put my bag. It reaches a point where you just don't have time to worry about them. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. I just wanted to talk about today my feeling towards handbags and how it's changed over the years. I just had a few thoughts this morning about the trend of people like decking their bags out with these like crazy silly bag charms. I have noticed all over my Instagram people putting these like weird toys on their bags and like chains and like just this really aggressive things on their designer handbags that cost thousands of dollars. And I often see people doing it with either the Roma Go or a Birkin or the Miu Miu bag that looks a little bit like the Plume bag. This is an Hermes Plume bag. And a part of me is like obsessed with this trend because it speaks to me. I'm trying to figure out why does it speak to me. And I think it's because there's this attitude of carelessness towards your bag, which I find quite refreshing. And it's almost like you have power over the bag and the bag doesn't have power over you. And I quite like that, like putting your mark on a bag element. And it is like the essence of the Jane Birkin vibe, where she personalizes her bag, she puts stickers on them, she travels the world with her Birkin, she doesn't worry about putting it on the floor. There's something very freeing about that attitude, which is an attitude I used to have towards my bags, and it's something that changed as I grew to appreciate and collect designer bags. Back in 2011, I used to not buy designer bags. I was, in my early 20s and going to music festivals, going clubbing, and I would buy bags from Dolls Kill or the thrift store. And I was more concerned about people stealing my phone than stealing my bag. I was not particularly precious with my bags. I would buy things from H&M and Zara and I wouldn't care. And I'm not necessarily saying what my attitude back then was better than now, but I just wasn't precious with my things, and there was something very freeing about, I remember I had this Unif bag, which was like an iridescent PVC backpack, and I wore that bag every day. I put little stickers on it, like glow sticks in it. I like put fluffy bag charms on it, and I wore it all the time. I wore it to festivals. I remember once I got all this dirt in the bag, and then I had to fully like immerse it in water to clean it. And I would never do that. I would never treat a designer bag like that these days. But I do think that there is a part of like people who follow fashion who want to go back to that freeness of not caring about your bag. And when you see pictures of Mary-Kate Olsen trashing her Kelly, it almost looks like, wow, like I can't believe that you would wear a bag like that. But there's something that is very detached from being so perfect with fashion. I also think that there is that element of snobbery to it though, and let me know what you think as well, because the reason why I am so protective over my designer bags is because they are so expensive. Something like my Pinkerton is, more than $4,000. So I don't want to get this, I don't want to chuck this in the dirt, and I don't want to get pen on it. I don't want to put it on the floor because it's this pale color. And the other day I was out shopping in the city and I actually bought my really pretty blue atoll bolide. So I was out shopping. I ended up buying a few things actually from Hermes, which was exciting. Unboxing coming soon. Nothing crazy, no bags. But my boyfriend called me and said that he got tickets for us to go be in the audience of a TV show. So I ended up being in the audience of a TV show that night. It was very spontaneous. And I wasn't expecting to, bring a designer bag, because sometimes when you go to these like shows, you don't know whether you're going to put your designer bag on the floor. And because I was worried about my bag, it really took away a little bit from, I don't know, I just didn't want to worry about my bag. And I kind of thought like in the past, I wouldn't have this issue of worrying where I'm going to put my bag because I didn't really care about my bag that much. But because I had this like light blue bolide, I didn't want to put it on the floor. And it ended up that we had to we couldn't take our bags into the studio. We had to chuck them in this cage with all the bags all together. And luckily I did some shopping that day. So I ended up putting my bag in the shopping bag and putting it in the cage, and they locked it up. And I was like not really worried about it, but you know, I did wish that I bought a cheaper bag. I do wish that I didn't bring like a bag that, you know, maybe cost a few $1,000s. So I do miss that feeling of not caring about my bag. But then also a part of me never wants to give up on buying designer bags because there's something about them that make me very excited, and I obviously like talking about them a lot. But there is that element, I think, in fashion that people are sick of being so caring about designer bags this much, because it reaches a point where you just don't have time to worry about them. Now, I think the reason why I am worried about my designer bags is because I'm worried I'm going to change again in 10 years or even a few years, and I might fall out of love with all my designer bags, and I don't want to trash all my bags and then, you know, realize that I want to sell them later and then they've lost all value because I've trashed them. There is that element to me that doesn't know if I'm going to change again, and I don't know if these are forever bags. Like, as much as we like to make videos saying I'm never going to sell these bags are forever bags for me, I didn't really think I was going to change as much as I did in the last 10 years. So how am I supposed to guarantee that I'm going to be into designer bags in 10 years? Like, a part of me does honestly feel like it's a phase of my life, and that it's good if I keep them in good condition, because if I do want to sell them, then they will still be sellable. So there's always that thought at the back of my mind. And I think that's also why people are looking more to Coach and other designer brands, because I think a lot of us are just sick of spending so much money on a bag and then having it as like a liability. And although I don't want to stop buying designer bags, I also don't necessarily want to invest even more money into my designer bag collection. It's kind of like, I don't know, it reaches a point where you're kind of like, okay, how much more bags do you have to buy? So I did sell a few bags at the start of the year, which was good. It kind of narrowed it down a bit. But I am thinking maybe I should downsize a little bit more, just so I can like really just utilize each bag and enjoy it, and not, you know, have the problem of having so many bags and then not wearing them or not add that. Like, I've realized that if you have a collection of like 30 bags and then you have a collection of like 10 bags, having 30 bags doesn't necessarily add that much more value or joy to your life than having the 10 bags, because you can only wear one bag at a time anyway. So I'm trying to just really think like, what bags am I going to be happy with for a really long time? And I'm starting to work towards like buying really special bags, like a Birkin 25 or a Kelly 25. But I know that if I buy those bags, I don't want to be so precious with them, and I do want to wear them, and I do want to have the feeling like I'm never going to sell them, so I want to wear them. Because, yeah, one of my friends got a Constance the other day, and she said, oh, I've already scratched it, it's already ruined. And there's something about, you know, spending so much on a bag and then, you know, getting that scratch on it, and you think, oh, now it's lost value. And having that thought in your head that you're going to sell your bags does sometimes affect the experience of owning the bag. And yeah, I am kind of thinking like that too, but at the same time, I might get over bags in like 10 years. So I don't necessarily want to be so free with my bags and just chuck the money away. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Are you sick of being concerned about your handbag? Is there something very liberating about just wearing bags that are a lot less expensive? Because I think, yeah, I kind of miss that sometimes, but at the same time, I love having a fancy bag, and I love, you know, just staring at them, taking pictures, researching them. I'm really passionate about learning about the history of bags and all. There's more to it than that too. So for me, it's not like a flex thing, or it's not even necessarily me trying to put an outfit together or whatever. I just really like collecting them as objects. So it's a little bit different for me. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that today, because I've had a few thoughts the last few days. Like, yeah, I kind of wish sometimes that I could go back to not caring about my bag. But yeah, thanks for watching my video today, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!